Shalom, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops who were at Millstone that taught us this word, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect across the planet Earth. I just want to talk about how this truth is likened to a straight gate, a narrow path, and the Lord is going to try, his men. And the devil is roaming around, seeing whom he can devour. So it's very important to keep, that eye single and keep, yourself into this truth, man. Remove yourself from the world as much as possible so that you can stay motivated in this truth. There's all sorts of temptations and ways to where you can fall out, But first scripture is Zechariah 13 and 8, because only a small number, is going to make it on this side. It says, it shall come to pass that in the land of the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. Saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. The 3rd part shall be left therein. And 2/3 of our people, man, are going to be cut off and get caught up in this destruction. And I'll bring the 3rd part through the fire, and refine them as silver is refined, and try them as gold is tried. Yeah, through all that hell, the Lord's going to put you through, man. Trials and tribulations. That's how you try the gold, You put it to the fire, and it burns off the impurities. So that only the pure gold is left, And I'll try them as gold is tried in the fire. And they shall call on my name, and I'll hear them. So that name is very important. Yahweh, and the son's name is Yahushai. And that's how the Lord is hearing you, man. Through the correct names. And I'll say, it is my people. And they shall say, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is my power. It's that gold being put to the test. And we're dealing with that now. And it's only going to intensify, as we get closer and closer, man. This is 2nd Ezra 16. 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So there it is. That's how the Most High is likening the testing, the tribulation of his men through purification of gold and purification of silver, the precious stones, the precious metals. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Yeah, the Lord's going to deliver, his men from the days of trouble, the time of Jacob's trouble, And that day is building up, man. Racial tension is at an all-time high. It's even higher than it was last year. Each year it increases, man. In the days of trouble, times of Jacob's trouble, that the hour of temptation, the mark of the beast gets pushed. Only a few more prophecies left, man. Major prophecies. Ultimately, that World War III. And the Lord's going to deliver his men from all of that. But first, he's going to put his men through the test. When you come into this truth, you deal with all types of trials and tribulations, man. So that you can prepare you for this end times, man. So that you can have that stability. So that you would have that strong mind. Removing yourself from the comforts of this world, man. The convenience of this world. So that you can handle the days of trouble, But, it's going to be so bad that, the Archangel Michael's going to have to come down. So you're going to get some help. But you're going to have that stable mind as well. Wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy times. It says, verse 75, be not afraid neither doubt. The Most High is your guide. The guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, say the Lord. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Yeah, let not your sins weigh you down, man. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. There's only so much we can do. But, just guide them, keep them to the best of your ability. That's the most important thing, you know. But the point being, even all that hell, the Lord is going to try you. As gold is tried in the fire. Yeah, the narrow and wide gates. The Lord likens His truth unto, the narrow gate and the wide gate. This is Matthew 7:13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Yeah, the straight gate, the straight path of difficulty, small gate, difficulty, man. It's not going to be an easy ride, you know. I mean, you know, you're following the law, statute, commandment to the best of your ability. That's following the straight gate. Not being able to do everything you want. You know, for wide is the gate and broad is the way, like the broad way. These other camps, they want to enter in the truth that broad way, man. Doing whatever it is you want, wanting to please their woman. Putting their families before the truth, all that. That's the broad way, and that's the way that leadeth to destruction. That easy path. It's not going to be an easy path. You're going to be catching hell from day one, and it's only getting stronger and stronger. That hell. Because the straight gate and the narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. And you read in Zechariah, 2/3 shall be cut off and die. Only a few are going to make it. Yeah, it's like the scriptures say, this world is created for many, but the world to come, but for a few. There'll be many more that perish, not be delivered, that be saved. So you want to walk that straight gate, that disciplined gate, man, in this thing. Second Ezra 7:6. There's also another thing: a city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of good things. The entrance thereof is narrow. It's about the kingdom of heaven, man. The entrance thereof is narrow. It's set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left, deep water. So that's the kingdom. To get to that kingdom, the entrance is very narrow. There's fire on one side, and there's deep water on the other. It's only that one man can go at a time, man. I was about to say that. Verse 8. And only one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. So you can't have another man holding your hand. This truth, man. It's back to back. You can't have someone holding you up, because he'll fall. He'll fallen. That path is so small. So we read in Matthew about the straight gate. Wide, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, man. The straight gate is narrow, but straight is the gate and narrow is the way that leadeth unto life, that leadeth to the kingdom, man. But that entrance is set at a dangerous place, like I just said. Satan, the devil, he's always warring, like he's like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. So you got to walk in the spirit, man, at all times in this thing. Verse 9. If the city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? Yeah, so this is something we all have to do, man. The Lord is trying his men, tried as gold, as the gold in the fire. and few there be that find it. A lot of guys, they give up. You know, they throw up the hands. They go back into the world. They take their hand off the plow, the work. They don't want to do the work. The hell's catching up to them. The Lord said, he that doesn't remove his hand from the plow, isn't fit for the kingdom. You know, so the Lord's building you up right now. That's why you're catching all that hell. The Lord is building you up. Basically, you have to forget all the ways of the world, the way that you were raised up to be, the man that you were raised up to be, wasn't really a man. This truth is what makes you a man, This truth makes you put off those childish things. And it's not easy at times, man. Sirach 2:1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. That's what a lot of guys do. They make haste. In the time of trouble, when that trouble hits, when that hell hits, they make haste. They throw the truth behind them and they go back into the world. The Most High ain't dealing with that, man. It says, set thy mind aright and constantly endure. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. And whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Be patient with thou art changed to a low estate. Yeah, whatever the hell you catch, man, take that cheerfully. Because that's the sure sign that the Lord is dealing with you, And be patient. Thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So it's all about trying your spirit, man. Trying your integrity. Are you really fit for the kingdom, man, to serve Yahushai in these end times, man? Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall, So ultimately, the ones that don't fear the Lord, man, they're going to fall. They're going to fall to the fire on the right hand, or they're going to fall to the deep water on the left hand. They're just going to fall out the truth, man. Ultimately, they didn't fear the Lord. They didn't want to wait for his mercy. It says, ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. That's exactly what we need, man. These end times is mercy, man. None of us is worthy of the kingdom. All of our righteousness is that of filthy rags, man. None of us is worthy. That's why ultimately we need mercy from Yahushai, man. I look at the generation of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was not forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in a time of affliction. So they just don't have the patience. It says, be patient without our change to a low estate. You don't have the patience to wait for the Lord's mercy. It says, woe be unto the fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that go two ways. Woe to him that's faint-hearted and believeth not. Therefore he shall not be defended. And we're going to need a defense, in these end days, man. It says, oh, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, back in 2nd Ezra. But I will deliver you from the same. We need that defense. It says, right, we read up to verse 71. And they should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. That's the time of Jacob's trouble. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses, man. So we need to be defended in that time, man. We're nobody, Jacob thou worm. We're worms out here, man. So we need the defense of the Lord, man. So that's why the ones that are faint-hearted and believe not, they're going to fall away and they're not going to be defended in that day, man. We need all the help we can get. We need all the mercy we can get, man. Lord will. But as 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, there have no temptation taking you, but is such as common to man. So, I mean, the Most High knows what you can deal with, what you can't deal with. It's no different from what the average Jake is going in the world, but we're catching this hell for a purpose, for a reason. But the Most High is faithful, will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. So he ain't gonna put anything on you that you can't handle. You know, it's one of those scriptures that you have to go through. You have to constantly read and remember. You know, will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. Most High created your spirit. The Lord created your spirit. He knows what you can deal with and what you can't deal with, man. That's a beautiful thing to know and to understand. But will, with the temptation, also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it, to be able to bear it. Yeah, so the Lord ain't gonna put nothing on you that you can't handle, man. Whatever it is, you can deal with it. You know. But yeah, you know, the Lord's gonna try his men, for gold is tried in the fire. You know. You wanna be Yahushua's pure gold, man. You wanna take that fire, that hell, that temptation, whatever it is you have to deal with, you want to be able to take it. So all that impurity, you know, that dross is burned off of you, so that you can be presented, you know, as a acceptable bride, you know, for Yahushua, man. So that you can be worthy, you know, to be delivered by Yahushua, man. That's what it's all about. So with that, you know, Shalom.